Mashiach, never forget, he's born from human parents. He's not born a malach from Shemaim. He's going to come from left field. He's going to come from where you're not going to expect him. The line of Mashiach always comes from a place which is, I'm going to use a Yiddish term, Nishkan Galat, a place where you would not look for him over there. And he's going to come from over there, not from over there.
Today's episode is sponsored by Boris M Tax Planning and Advisory. Schedule your free tax strategy session online and get started now. Call us at 212-430-6881 to learn more.
Beruchim Abiyim, and welcome to Torah Talks Chazaq's program with special guests. We have with us all the way from London, Rabbi Mashiach Kelaty. Baruch haba, welcome. How's the Rabbi doing?
Shalom Aleichem, Baruch Hashem, very, very well, Rabbi Yaniv. Lovely to see you again.
Baruch Hashem, pleasure to see the Rabbi. And Rabbi Mashiach Kelaty is going to be speaking about the coming of Mashiach. Thank you to Rabbi for coming up with that amazing topic. And we wait for Mashiach every single day. But before we get to the exciting topic, Rabbi Kelaty, give us a little bit of background about yourself and the great work you're involved with.
Okay, so my name is Mashiach Kelaty. I was born in London. I won't tell you when, but a few decades ago, and I lived in London most of my life. When I got married, we moved to Israel. We were there for 6.5 years. That's where I got my smicha. Came back to London to put what I learned into practice, and I've been here ever since, basically. So what I do is I speak on Torah anytime. Baruch Hashem, I'm also a rabbi of a community in a place in London called Stanmore. We have a small Sephardi community which we have there within the Ashkenazi community, so that's always good for promoting Achdut. I'm also a filmmaker, so I make films about Torah topics. Baruch Hashem, I've made 3 so far, and I'm working on something else on something which is related to the Jewish community, but it's a specific topic, a documentary on men's mental health, which is a very, very oft neglected subject. So we're going to be addressing that. And yeah, I'm always looking for different projects, different stories that I can tell through the medium of film. So yeah, that's what I do. I'm also a musician as well. I sometimes bring, very rarely, but I bring sometimes music into my shiurim. And yeah, I suppose that's me.
Wow, very impressive, I must say. A man of many different hats. Baruch Hashem, doing great things for Klal Yisrael. And continue Michal Echad from strength to strength. So the topic is the coming of Mashiach.
Okay.
So one might ask, what is Mashiach?
Okay, that is the question on everyone's lip. What is Mashiach? Who is Mashiach? Well, I can know. First of all, if I knew the answer to that question, I would be, I don't know, on cloud 9, because Yaakov Avinu knew it. He couldn't even say it. I could say it, but I don't know who he is, what he is. But I'll tell you what I heard from my rabbi of blessed memory, Rabbi Ronnie Mansour. No relation to Rabbi Eli Mansour. Rabbi Ronnie Mansour.
Actually speaking of Rabbi Eli for us at Chazaq tonight.
Ah, right.
But
okay. So this Rabbi Ronnie Mansour was an Indian Iraqi Jew, and I learnt with him for many, many years. He passed away a few years ago. He always used to tell us that Mashiach, never forget, he's born from human parents. He's not born a malach from Shemaim. He's going to come from left field. He's going to come from where you're not going to expect him. Because if you think about it, historically, the line of Mashiach always comes from a place which is, I'm going to use a Yiddish term, Nishkan Galat, a place where it's, you would not look for him over there. And he's going to come from over there, not from over there. So again, you'll know what I mean if you look through the Chumash and you see the line that ended up with Gavle Melech. So he always used to tell us he's born from human parents. He's going to come from where you're not going to expect him. And also, if you think about it, who was the original person who brought the original Geulah from Egypt was Moshe Rabbeinu. What does it say about Moshe Rabbeinu, about his parents, about where he came from? So it says in the Torah, a man from Levi came and married a daughter from Levi. Who are these people? Why don't you just say, Amram married Yocheved? So the answer I was always taught is because Moshe Rabbeinu, the man, he was a man after all, he was more like a malach in human clothing, but he was a man. He was from almost nondescript beginnings. He was born from a man and a woman whose their names aren't even mentioned. Why are they not mentioned? Because his potentials was not realized yet. So before we knew he was the great Moshe Rabbeinu, we know he comes from a man and a woman. So if this Mashiach that's going to come, who knows who his parents are going to be? Are they famous? Are they get on it? We don't know. We don't know. That's one thing. The other thing is Mashiach follows a pattern. What's the pattern that Mashiach follows? I heard a cute thing. You know, it says in Parashat B'chukotai begins, Im b'chukotai telechu. If you go in my ways, if you follow in my chukim. Now the word im is spelled Aleph Mem. Aleph Mem contains three allusions to three different periods in Jewish history. Number one, Aleph and Mem is Aaron and Moshe. Those are the two brothers who brought us the original Geulah from Egypt. We have Aleph and Mem also a stage later in history, which is Esther and Mordechai. A few weeks' time, Be'ezras Hashem, we're going to be reading the Megillah. And then, of course, if you haven't guessed it already, the Geulah Shleima, the final Geulah, is Eliyahu and Mashiach. So Be'ezras Hashem, we should see the coming of Mashiach very, very, very soon. That's what I know about Mashiach.
Wow. Rabbi, how is it that the current events, which are so much happening right now all over the world, how is it connected to the coming of the Mashiach?
Okay, so again, I'm going to quote my Rav, Rabbi Ronnie Mansour Zatzal. So he always used to say, the birth pangs of Mashiach are going to be very severe. They will get worse. And when they get worse, they'll get worse and worse. And I remember also Rabbi Tatz always used to tell us, when you think it's not going to get worse, it's going to get even worse, and then we'll get Mashiach. So it's going to become unbearable. By the way, I'll add in a little caveat here that, I was always taught that a nevuah for the good has to come true. But a nevuah for what's not so good, not so pleasant, does not have to come true. So again, how severe is it going to be? I don't know, but it's going to be a rocky ride. We have to hold steady. The Yetzer Hara is going to be shechted. Look at the Gemara. I think it's in Sukkah. Talks about the Yetzer Hara is like a mountain to some. It's like a thread to others. Basically, he's going to be shechted at the end of days. So if he knows he's going to be shechted, he's not going to take that line down. He's going to fight with every weapon, every gadget, every social media, anything he can. He's throwing the works in. So it's going to be very, very difficult. But don't give up, because the light has already appeared at the end of the tunnel. To focus on that light. Don't worry about the blackness that's around you. Focus on the light. Focus on that little ray of hope. As Rabbi Mansour always used to tell us, he said, Mashiach is ready. He's just shining his buttons. He always used to tell us that. He just a little shine, and he's going to be revealed. Okay? More than that, I can't tell you. I don't know.
So, what would you say is holding back the coming of the Bi'agol? It said that the coming of the redemption of Mashiach, the Messiah of the Bet HaMikdash temple.
Okay, so I'll tell you what I think and what I was taught. So, first of all, I'll tell you what we are doing right to bring Mashiach. First of all, organizations like Chazaq in America with a Q and Chazaq in England with a K. And we have places in England as well. We have a place called Tal. We have a place called Eshet Torah. We have Jewish Learning Exchange, which is Orsamer. All over the world, and I know that there has never been revolution in Torah learning that there is now. And how can I forget TorahAnytime.com? Spearheading this revolution with all the wonderful organizations in Europe, America, all over the world. That is what is forging forward for Mashiach. And I know for a fact, the Kol Yaakov brothers, especially Shimon. I mean, Shimon is one who I speak to every so often. He always used to tell me, we're not going to stop until Mashiach comes. He said, it's got to end with the Geulah. Well, I say end, but they're not holding up. The train is going to be shuffling along and constantly, and that's what's going to happen. Now, what is being ma'akev Mashiach? This is my humble opinion. I believe it's achdut. I think that is unity amongst the Jewish people, because it says Kol Yisrael Arevim Zeh Lezeh. We're all connected. The issue is, in my simple, humble opinion, is that we need to realize that. We need to realize we're too small a people to become fractious, to become disconnected. The figures are 0.2% of the world population. That's it. It's a tiny fraction. Now, you ask the average Gentile on the street, what percentage are there of Jews in the world? They'll tell you anything between 20% and 50, 60%, right? That's what it seems like, because a Jew will always punch above his weight. A Jew has potential that's God-given. It just has to be brought out. Like it says, the luchot, the tablets, the Ten Commandments were inscribed on these tablets. Now, again, this is an idea that I heard from the old chief rabbi of the UK. His name was Rabbi Dr. Jonathan Sachs. He was a brilliant statesman. He was a rabbi, a doctor. He was a member of the House of Lords, an incredible statesman, incredible speaker. And he said the following thing. He said the luchot, the tablets, were charut be'even, engraved in stone. Why doesn't it say written on the stone? And he explains as follows. He says, there's a fundamental difference between writing and engraving. When you write something, it's something that technically can be erased. You're adding something external onto the stone, onto where you're writing. Engraving is very different. Engraving means you take away what's already there and you reveal what is underneath. Just like that thing with Michelangelo. They asked Michelangelo, he made a beautiful statue. I think it was of an elephant or something like that. And they asked him, how did you make this beautiful statue? And he said, very simple. I took the block of granite and I cut away everything which was not elephant. So the same thing here. We have the 10 tablets which were engraved. Things were removed and reveal what's already there. That's a Jewish neshama. A Jewish neshama, you've already got the potential in you. You just have to remove the ikuvim, remove the obstacles, the barriers, and what is in there already will shine. But the key is it's there. It's in there. It's in every single Jew, man, woman, and child, and it will be with every man, woman, child, Jew for the rest of time. Right? That's what we have to realize. So I believe that we have to be more connected. We've got to realize how special we are as a people. I will also tell you that it's not easy to be ba'achdut, because the tendency is that we tend to fight against those who are not one of us. So let's say we live in a community. We are a certain type of Ada. We're from Sephardim, Ashkenazim, Litaim, Hasidim, whatever. We tend to look differently at those who are opposite us, or Jews of a different background, of different age, different gender, whatever it is. Unless they're exactly like us or a member of our family, then we find it difficult to relate to them. So there is a tendency to find this, to pick and say, oh, I don't know, I don't like him, he's not. I'll tell you what I heard just today, a beautiful idea from the Lubavitcher Rebbe. Okay, you don't have to be a Chabadska to quote the Rebbe. I'll tell you that for sure. Okay, also like you don't have to be a Sephardi to quote the Ben Shai or the Kavachayim. So the Rebbe says like this. He asks a question: why do we say Shalom Aleichem? And then people reply, Aleichem Shalom. Anyone who listens to my shir, I introduce every shir, Shalom Aleichem. I always say that, even if I'm talking to myself and people are listening on the podcast. Shalom Aleichem. Why don't we say Shalom Aleichem in reply? Why you reverse it? Aleichem Shalom. It's like saying, how are you? You are how? Well, it doesn't make sense. Says the Rebbe, genius answer. He goes, when you meet somebody, the first thing you do is you acknowledge between yourself that I am Shalom Aleichem, you are Aleichem Shalom. I have my opinion, you have your opinion. But we are b'shalom. You can be the opposite of me, and you're acknowledging it. Now that we've acknowledged it from the get-go, now we can have a reasonable conversation. You can have your way of Avodat Hashem. I can have my way of Avodat Hashem, and they don't have to conflict. We can agree. We can even agree. Guess what? We can even agree to disagree. That's not a problem. Some of the greatest Kiruv stories I've ever heard in my life are people who will go over and above. They'll give of themselves, which they would never normally give for the sake of another Jew. Because it doesn't matter if you're different. It doesn't matter if you're from, you're not from, or whatever you are. You're my brother. You look different. You seem different. I don't care. We've got this connection, and we need to realize that you can be on the other side. You can be mirror, but you can still agree to disagree. And what's the word? Yeah, again, the title of one of Rabbi Sachs's books was The Dignity of Difference. You can be different, but it's dignity. You've got to treat your fellow with dignity.
Beautiful. Rabbi Mashiach Kelaty and Midvei Yetziv and Nachon Rekiyam, everything is true. And we know that the Bet HaMikdash, the Holy Temple, was destroyed. Why? Because of Sinat Chinam, baseless hatred. In every single generation that the Bet HaMikdash, Holy Temple, hasn't been rebuilt, it means that this problem still exists. Not that it was thousands of years ago, a long time ago. It exists every single year that it's not rebuilt. That means we have to work on Shalom, which is Achdut, which is unity, like the Rabbi says.
Absolutely. 100% agree.
100%. So Rabbi Kelaty, beautiful gems. We have a minhag, we have a custom and Chazaq Torah Talks. A final message for our broad audience, Rabbi.
Okay, I'm going to try and do this very quickly. A couple of ideas. Number one, here's something, a few things you can take on easily. Don't be in your own world. It's very easy to go out to shul, to kollel, to work, and you're in your own world. And you see somebody, don't bother saying hello. Break out of that habit. Push yourself. There are people there who you see every day. You don't even give them the time of day. The security guard, when you go into shul, do you say hello to him? Your chaver, you sit next to him in shul. I'm not saying talk in shul. I'm saying when you leave the shul, say hello, have a good day. It's so simple, you can do it. We're from the same place. We're all connected because we all come from the Kisei HaKavod. Second thing, don't be makpid. Sometimes we're particular. We have these little idiosyncrasies. I can't take this, and we're so fussy about things. I'm going to use a Yiddish word that are gornish, that don't even matter. Put them aside. Don't worry about them. Don't get so huffy puffy. And the last thing, if I can leave you with this, is you have to believe in yourself. And if you don't believe in yourself, work in believing in yourself. And here's the proof. Okay, it says in the Torah, "V'ahavta l'recha kamocha." Love your fellow man like yourself. If you don't love yourself, how can you love your friend? How can you love other people? And don't think this is some nice, fancy idea. This is in the Torah. This is min Torah. So the Torah is telling you, love yourself. Then you can love others.
Beautiful. Rabbi Mashiach Kelaty, Chazaq u'Baruch, Yeshar. So inspiring. And every single Torah talk, shir, whenever I can at least, I end off with Bezich. We should all be zochet to see the Geulah Shleima. We can leave redemption with Mashiach. And we spoke about it throughout the Torah talk. It was very, very inspiring. I mean, we have to work on the Achdut, on the unity. We have to try to get along one another. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom. We have to agree to disagree. It's a beautiful chidush. And we want to thank the rabbi all the way from London to give up of his time to inspire all of us. We want to thank our friends at different platforms that host Chazaq Torah Talks, and like you mentioned, Torah Anytime. We also want to give a shout out and thank you to Daily Giving. $1 a day goes a very far way. We want everyone to look into that. It's amazing. And we want to also thank the entire Chazaq team and staff. Unbelievable what's going on over here. Hashem. So many lives are being changed, and the feedback is amazing. We're always getting tremendous feedback, and we really appreciate it, by the way. It means a lot to us. info@chazaq.org, info@chazaq.org. Send it over to us, suggestions for future Torah Talks. And Rabbi Kelaty, Chazaq Baruch Yeshakach.
Thank you very much for having me, Rabbi, and check out my shiurim on TorahAnytime.com. Thank you.
Yes, we will. Chazaq Baruch, and only B'sorot Tovot.
Amen.